And then now we're in module 4, where we talk about how to speak about pain points in content, and then eventually in conversation, once we have a better understanding of how to speak naturally about this. So I've created a couple of templates using this connection with your pain points, and then the language that we created around it, using the validation sequence. And if none of that is hitting home and making real sense right now, don't worry about it. We get into it much later. This is more like a quick start guide. So you can just start speaking about these quickly when you start putting content out about them. So the first template is just a simple social media post. And you use this type of a structure where you talk about that specific moment. You've got a bank of these that you've built, that you've already created, so you can just continually reuse the same specific moments. And then every 2 months or so, you want to look at those and see if you can make them even more powerful, or take a moment now and even look at them and see if you can make them more powerful. And you do that with each of these. So you go from specific moment to the internal experience to the identity fear, and then you normalize it. And then you talk about the transformation possibility. And you just go bang, 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 bang. Literally, like you could do it in 5 sentences or 5 phrases. And that's your post. And it's powerful. It speaks to a specific individual that's dealing with that identity fear, that's dealing with that specific moment and the specific thoughts and feelings. So it's incredibly powerful, and hits home with a handful of people, with quite a bit of people. Also a template for just a conversation opener. And these are ideas, they're frameworks. So excuse me, you can play with them a little bit and adjust them to fit your voice and your needs. But this is the basic idea for how I would do a conversation opener. And then to test these, you just want to look at how people are responding to them. Are they saying things like, you're speaking like, get out of my head, you're speaking exactly what I say to myself, how did you know what I was thinking? These things, I've had a lot of people speak to me in that way. And that's when you know your message is really hitting home. So look for these kind of signs or anything similar. And then you can also see how your content is giving relief, which is giving hope, is what it's doing. Letting people know there's actual solutions to things out there before they give up. And so look for things like that when you're talking to people, when you're having conversations, if you're seeing them face to face on Zoom meetings. And also, don't think little about them being open, because when people trust you and they are seeing value in what you know, they begin to open up more and more and more. So when people begin to be open with you and be more vulnerable with you, that's letting you know that your content is hitting home. And all you have to do is continue to provide a lot of value and a lot of results. So things to do before we move on to not module 3, but part 3 is going to be have your personal transformation inventory done, the 3-layer pains for your top 5 prospect challenges, all the homework that we just talked about, that we've been going through, the language, all of this, and how it's connected to your purpose. Make sure that everything you do throughout this entire academy journey, throughout your entire business journey, has to circle back and connect to your purpose in module 1 and into your mission. If you connect everything and have very clear alignment with the things that you putting together in your business, if it has that alignment with your purpose and your mission, it will be unstoppable. Then it's just little tiny refinements and tweaks that are going to be needed to make it be successful. And key takeaways: remember, surface problems are just symptoms. They're not something that we're looking to cure. If we cure the deeper issue, the surface problems disappear. It's that stuff that's happening under the water that's creating the big waves. So we want to take care of the earthquake at the ocean floor, not the tsunami on the surface. Your personal transformation story is your greatest tool for articulating the pain, like letting people know you've been through what they're experiencing at the moment and that there's a way on the other side that's beautiful. The language that you use, which is the psychology of the communication, using the relief language, the validation structures are what creates recognition, and that's where trust is built with what's the word I'm looking for? Like consistency of message. People will understand you know what you're talking about and you've got something very unique. And then remind yourself about how the hierarchy of pain, whether it's surface, emotional, or identity, that's what drives decisions. And if you can speak on all three of those levels, but especially on that identity level, you're going to get a lot of people's attention. And then remember that specificity is what creates connection. Don't speak in terms of generalities and vagueness. Speak directly about one specific moment and experience, a specific feeling, a specific thought, a specific fear. And that's where you are going to get a lot of attention and people will stop to listen. So get deep into the weeds, fill out your journal, make it as powerful as possible. You can always have space to refine it, and then test it out a little bit. If you're ready and you want to start kind of testing the waters and seeing how your message is going to be received, you have to start at some point in time. I suggest starting now, because then you can start refining and making the message better and better and better. So I will see you in the next part. Best of luck with this. Contact me if you've got any questions, and keep up the great work.